Hey, Dr. Paul, and it is Father's Day. It's been a good day so far. I got to be with my church family and with my two sons and their children. Uh, it was really wonderful. And I've been thinking a lot today about my own father, who has been gone now for 37 years. It's kind of mind blowing. Um, I was 31 when he died at the age of 59 from colon cancer, and I was in residency at the time. I had started the year, I guess, 2 years previously, and by the time that of his death, I was in, I guess, my third year, and we had two sons. The first one uh, was born in 1984, the next one in 1985. So they were 2 and 3 years old, and sadly, they don't have any memory of their grandpa, who his grandkids called Poppy. And it makes me very sad. My youngest was born in '88, the year after, and he looked so much like my dad. It was remarkable. People would say things like, "Well, I never believed in reincarnation until now," because he did look like the spitting image of my dad when he was a kid. And so I I grieve that my kids didn't know him. But something else I'm grieving today is that while the Bible talks about honoring your father and mother, I feel like in some ways I've done a good job of never speaking bad of them or being hateful or hurtful to them. But what I realized is that I have not told the stories of my parents to my children. I haven't passed on the heritage. My dad was not a perfect dad. In fact, it was kind of a mismatch between his parenting style and my personality. I was a sissy boy, and my dad did not feel very comfortable being affectionate with his three sons. He was much more affectionate with my sister, Kathy. And in fact, he made a comment after I started having grandkids that when my cousin showed up with his daughter, my dad was delighted to uh, play and hold her. And he made the comment that girls are nice because you can be affectionate with them. And I reacted because I thought, wow, that's sad that he didn't realize that at least one of his boys really needed that type of affectionate connection. But my dad had some amazing qualities. Um, I got some of my sense of humor from him. I think my love of people, my desire to help people. Um, I think my love of dance. I love to teach and to speak, and my dad was just remarkable in that arena. In fact, my mom, who is 92, her name is Louise, she broke her hip on the way to her sister's funeral about 3 months ago. And when she went into rehab, one of the physical therapists there had been at one of my dad's workshops years ago. Of course, as I said, he'd been dead for 37 years, so it was probably 50 years ago. And he remembered my dad and the impact that he had made when he had come to this man's church way on this, I think, southwest side of Houston. And it did my heart good. I think it was good for my mom, too, that here she was being treated for her broken hip, and there was someone caring for her that remembered my dad this much later. So I just want to encourage all of you who are watching to honor your parents by doing your best to share with your children, with others, the stories about your parents that um, will help to honor who they were. Now, I don't think you should edit out all the bad, because if you read the Bible and God's sharing stories about his people, about his children, our forefathers, um, he he certainly includes the glorious victories and the high points, but you can be sure that the scripture is also going to tell about the low points too, and sometimes spend a little more time on them. Um, Abraham had some glorious moments, but he had some really low moments when he let his wife be taken into Pharaoh's harem because he lied and said that she was his sister, and there are other things too. And David, the man after God's own heart, the scripture is very bold about his missteps and sin. And so today I'm just grieving a bit that my kids uh, don't have memories of my dad, but grieving even more that I didn't pass on my memories well. And so for whatever reason, I'm just now learning about the power of storytelling. I think I've always been very cerebral. I've always been very abstract in my thinking. I like to learn things, but I think I tend to be a little alien in the way that I relate to relationships, and not as deeply connected as I wish I were. And I know that I am doing better in some regards, but I want to do better still. So today I want to make a commitment to you to be better at storytelling, about including the very real examples of transformation in my life and the people that I love, the moments of sweetness and tenderness, the moments of hilarity and humor, um, moments of mistakes and tragic outcomes. Because I think we learn from those stories, we connect with them, because let's face it, we're all in this together. And as I said before, my dad was a mix of awesome and awful. And I think, once again, I did myself and my wife and my children a disservice by not talking about my parents and Terry's parents more. Our families are both pretty jacked up in a lot of ways, um, but we love each other, and we want to continue growing as we walk down this path, this journey of life that we're on. So whether you're watching this on Father's Day or just randomly came across this video, the Bible promises that if we honor our father and mother, it will go well with us and our days will be long. As I said, my mom is 92, and I'm hoping I'll make it at least there, maybe 102. We'll see if my brain holds out. But I do want to honor both of them. I'll certainly share more about my mom and may interview her, because she's quite a phenomenon. She wrote her first book at 87, is now working on book number 10. But she and my dad really were both quite a team. They both made a big impact on a lot of people, and we, over the years, had many, many people live with us and took people in who were struggling. And my dad counseled thousands of people and did hundreds of seminars and really made a big impact. I think what I failed to grab onto is that because I felt like other people got the best of him. And because he did fail me in some substantial ways, I think I let that eclipse um, the good that he gave me in terms of genetics and training and other positive impact on my life. And so I don't want to do that anymore. I am well aware that the enemy tries to eclipse the good with the bad. He tries to put the bad right in front of our face so we cannot see beyond it to the good. It's like the eclipse we had recently where the moon, which is tiny in comparison to our glorious sun, because it's so much closer to us, can completely eclipse the light of the sun. It's incredible. But that's what happens when the enemy gets his way, when he allows us to uh, have in our in the forefront of our vision, close to us, those negative things, those failings, or those limitations. And he can do it with your marriage, with your parents, with your job, with whatever circumstance you're dealing with. If you're not careful, he will bring those negative things in close and eclipse all the good. Don't let him do it. So today I'm reclaiming publicly a more positive relationship with my earthly father, and want to honor him today on this Father's Day before all of you, just to say I love him and I appreciate him and I want to honor him. His name was Carey, Carey, Brian, Bryan, Looney, and I wish you could have known him. He was a great guy, very fun, very funny, and very committed to making a difference. That's my commitment to. I want to make a difference for you, dear viewer, and pray that you are having a blessed and glorious Father's Day, and that whenever you're watching this, that you are inspired to honor those in your sphere, and particularly your mother and your father, in whatever way you can. I love you. Bye-bye.